Okay, now that we have these matches, let's figure out how to use them. Let's figure out how we can find the text in the paragraph using these matches. We found it in the string, we found it in that text variable, but let's figure out how to find it in the paragraph. So what we'll do here is let's create a new function, and we'll call this process PGF. So we're going to process the paragraph with these regular expression matches. So what do we want to pass in? Well, we need the match. Well, let's pass in the paragraph object first. We need the matches array, and then we need the doc object. So that's what we're going to pass in here. So let's just put a couple returns in here, and let's just call this. So what are we going to do? We're going to say process PGF, and in parentheses we'll pass in the paragraph. We'll pass in the matches object or the array that we created, and we'll pass in the doc object. So after we get our matches, and we know we have some matches, we have at least one, or else this line test on line 12 would fail. So we know that something's going to happen in here. So let's create a text range, and that might be good enough. So let's try that. So for each match, oh, we need a loop though, because we need to loop through these matches. So let's do a count variable, and let's do an I variable. So the count would be equal to the length of the matches. So if we have 3 matches, it would be 3. If we have 1, it would be 1. And then we're going to do a loop here, for loop. We're going to loop through each match. And we'll actually create a match variable as well, so we don't have to refer to the index. And then we will, and actually let's call this a match object, because it'll match what we did in the in this other function. So we're going to say if I is less than count, and then we're going to increment the counter plus equals 1. And then so for each one we're going to set a variable match obj equals matches, and then whatever the index is. So it'd be matches I. And so what we can do is let's create a new text location. So we're going to actually select that text in the paragraph itself. So we'll say text range is equal to new text range. Now a text range is actually consists of 2 text location variables. So we're going to actually do that in this right inside this new constructor here. So we're going to say new text loc. The PGF is the object, and what is the offset? Well, the offset will be match obj dot begin offset. So that'll be the beginning of that, and then we're gonna, and we need a comma there. I'm sorry, missed the comma. And then we're going to create another text location for the end of that, PGF, and then again we go into our match object and we store the end offset. And then we can close that up with with another parenthesis, because we have nested functions here, so we had to close that up with 2 parentheses. Now what we need to do is and actually we already have one there. We already have one, so let's put that down here. So what we want to do now that we have a text range, let's actually select that text. So we're going to say doc text selection is equal to the text range. So this will actually select the text, and to stop the cursor, or to stop the program so it highlights the text and stops, we'll put in an alert. So we'll say alert, and what we'll do is we'll display the match. We'll display the match itself, the value of the match. So let's save the changes. We'll go back here and we'll try it in the first paragraph. And you can see what we got. Now we got table cleaner. Now I'm going to explain why it's not, there's an offset there. I'll explain that in a minute. But let's go here, and there's the first one, there's the second one, and there's the third one. So we're able to get into our text and see the matches. Let's try it here. There's 1 match and there's 2 matches. All right. So that's how we can get into the text. Let's try one more. Let's go into this one, and there it is right there. Now again, we'll show you why this is not super reliable for our final code, but this is a good start. This is how we get in here and get a good start.